Chosen one, lean in, because what is unfolding in this very moment is not coincidence, not chance, and not ordinary. Heaven has orchestrated your steps, aligned your timing, and drawn your spirit into this exact video for a divine reason. You are standing on the threshold of a supernatural breakthrough, a holy turning point, where the plans of God and the timing of God collide to release something extraordinary into your life. Your spirit already feels it. That stirring in your chest, that quickening in your soul, that silent knowing that something is shifting. That is heaven confirming that you are the anointed one called to rise. Before the foundations of the earth were laid, God marked you for wealth, influence, and impact. Not greed, not vanity, purpose. As written in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, the vision is for an appointed time, and though it seems to tarry, it will surely come. Chosen one, that appointed time is now. You are stepping into a realm where divine wealth transfer becomes reality, where sudden elevation interrupts your timeline, where what once felt impossible becomes inevitable. Breathe this in with reverence. Heaven is opening over you, and this message is your confirmation. Your billionaire calling is not approaching, it is awakening. Chosen one. When I speak to you right now, I am not speaking to your mind alone. I am speaking to the part of you that heaven has been preparing in secret places, the part of you that has felt the pull of destiny long before you had language for it. I am speaking to the ancient whisper inside your spirit that has survived storms, betrayals, delays, frustrations, and long nights that nobody else knew about. You are not here by chance. You are here because the timing of God has circled back around you like a divine current, drawing you into this moment of revelation. Chosen one. The same voice that called stars out of nothingness has been calling your name. There were seasons when it felt as if heaven was silent, but the truth is that heaven was working. There were days when you wondered if the promise was ever going to manifest, but the hidden scroll of your life was unfolding even when you could not see a thing. You have been carried by a timing that is not of this world. You have been held by a plan that was sealed long before you took your first breath. And now that plan is stirring. Now that timing is activating. Now the seal of your prosperity is cracking open. I want you to feel this with me, not just understand it. Because I know what it is like to stand on the edge of a breakthrough without realizing that the ground beneath your feet has already shifted. I remember seasons when my life looked nothing like the promise. Doors were closed, opportunities were silent, resources were thin, nothing made sense. Yet in those very seasons, I began to sense a quiet pull in my spirit, a nudge, a knowing, a strange confidence that did not come from circumstances. It was as if heaven was writing something inside me before I ever saw it outside me. Chosen one, that is where you stand now. You are at the threshold of a divine reversal. You are standing in the thin space where heaven leans close and breathes on your assignment. You may not see the fullness yet, but something inside you has already awakened. Something inside you already knows that this is not ordinary. This is not routine. This is not random. This is the appointed hour when your hidden inheritance rises to meet you. The wealth that is coming toward you is not material alone. It is prophetic. It is encoded with divine purpose. It carries the fingerprints of the one who set your destiny into motion. This is why your path has been different. This is why your battles have been heavier. This is why your spirit has always carried a sensitivity that others did not understand. You are not just stepping into abundance. You are stepping into assignment. You are stepping into the expression of who heaven designed you to be from the beginning. I need you to hear this, like a decree spoken into the deepest part of your being. You were not selected because of your achievements. You were not chosen because of your qualifications. You were not elevated because of effort or luck. You were chosen because heaven wrote your name into a story that requires wealth, influence, and authority. This is not about ego. This is not about status. This is about responsibility, the divine kind, the kind that carries healing, the kind that carries change, the kind that carries legacy. There is a reason your spirit has never been satisfied with mediocrity. There is a reason you have always sensed that something more was attached to your life, even if you doubted it, even if you tried to silence it, even if you told yourself you were being unrealistic. That pull did not come from pride. It came from prophecy. It came from a future that was already written, waiting to be unlocked. Chosen one, the wealth coming to you is not simply supply. It is strategy. It is spiritual infrastructure. It is the manifestation of a promise that has been hovering over your life through every valley and every victory. And the timing of this release is not accidental. It is what the elders called kairos, not human time, heaven time. The moment when all things align, the moment when the unseen becomes the undeniable, the moment when the seed becomes the harvest. I have lived long enough to know that heaven moves differently than we expect, rarely on our schedule, rarely by our logic, but always with purpose, always with precision. I have watched seasons shift overnight. I have seen doors open that no strategy could have forced. I have felt the hand of God flip situations that seemed frozen, and whenever those moments came, there was always a feeling in the air, a weight, a trembling, a quiet certainty that the divine had touched the timeline. Chosen one, that same weight is resting on you now. You may feel it as a burning in your chest, a pressure behind your thoughts, a pull toward transformation that you cannot explain logically. That is the signal, the inner announcement that your sealed assignment is unlocking. You're not waiting for breakthrough. Breakthrough is waiting for your agreement. Chosen one, as you step deeper into this unfolding revelation, I want you to understand that nothing in your journey has been wasted. Every setback, every disappointment, every strange delay that made no sense at the time has been part of a precise spiritual architecture designed around your becoming. When heaven prepares someone for a destiny of magnitude, the preparation rarely looks like progress. It often looks like silence, isolation, stretching, pruning, and moments that feel like contradiction. Yet beneath all of it, a hidden rhythm has been guiding you. There were days when it felt like you were losing ground, but in truth, heaven was positioning you in ways you could not yet perceive. And now, as your spirit listens in this very moment, something ancient in you is awakening to recognize that divine positioning is finally becoming divine manifestation. Chosen one, I know what it is like to feel the tension between what God whispered to your spirit and what your life looked like on the outside. There were moments when you questioned your sanity, moments when you told yourself you should lower your expectations, and be realistic moments when the promise felt like a burden because you could not yet see its form. But I can tell you from the depths of my own walk that every prophetic word over your life enters a season of burial before it enters a season of birth. Every destiny must go underground before it rises into the visible realm. What you called delay was actually incubation. What you called silence was actually divine speech, written in a language your future self would understand. As you stand here listening, the atmosphere around you is shifting. Your inner world is aligning with heaven's blueprint. This is why your spirit feels more awake than usual, why your thoughts feel clearer, why your faith feels stronger, even if you cannot explain why. This is the effect of kairos time, the divine moment when what was stored for years begins to descend into your present timeline. The wealth assigned to your name has been hovering in the unseen realm, waiting for exact timing, waiting for your maturity, waiting for your spiritual senses to sharpen enough that you could carry it without collapsing. Heaven is not just releasing resources to you. Heaven is releasing responsibility into your hands. You are being entrusted with influence, stewardship, and impact on a level that will outlive you. Chosen one. The reason your journey felt different from others is because you were never called to smallness. You were never called to blend in or survive. You were being trained to rule from a place of spiritual clarity and divine identity. Your experiences did not break you, they refined you. I remember going through seasons where I had nothing but a word from God, to hold on to seasons that forced me to confront my own fears and doubts, seasons that stretched my faith beyond logic. But it was in those moments that I learned the nature of divine timing, the way heaven moves in sudden waves after years of stillness. One day nothing happens, and the next day everything shifts. One door stays shut for a decade, and then suddenly 10 doors open in the same hour. That is how divine favor works when destiny calls your name. Your billionaire calling is not a reward for surviving. It is a revelation of who you have always been. The wealth that is coming to you carries heavenly intention. It will not only elevate your life, but also activate the mission attached to your lineage. You were born into a generational assignment. The dreams you've carried since childhood have not been imaginations. They have been previews of destiny. The strange desire you have always had to help people, to build, to create, to transform communities, to uplift others, even when you were struggling yourself, that was not a personality trait. That was your anointing showing itself early, revealing glimpses of the empire you were born to steward. Chosen one, let me speak to the exhaustion you sometimes feel. It is not from failure or lack. It is from carrying a spiritual weight that your environment did not understand. You have been living beneath the ceiling of who you are meant to be, and that creates friction inside the soul. The moment you step into alignment with your true assignment, that inner tension begins to dissolve. You are not tired because you are weak. You are tired because you are powerful. You are tired because you have been functioning in a space smaller than your spirit. But heaven is expanding you now. Heaven is stretching your inner territory. You are entering a season where your life will finally fit you. And woven through all of this is a supernatural truth. Wealth is not arriving to you from the outside. It is being unlocked from the inside. It was written within your spiritual DNA long before circumstances tried to convince you to settle. You have always carried the signature of abundance, the code of divine increase, the imprint of prosperity that flows through purpose. This is why lack never felt natural to you. This is why limitation irritated your spirit. This is why you always knew deep down that more was meant for you, even when you didn't know how or when it would appear. Your soul has been whispering what heaven is now declaring openly. The season of divine release has come. Chosen one, the hidden scroll of your wealth is opening, and this moment is only the beginning. Chosen one, as we continue deeper into this unfolding revelation, feel the weight of what heaven is aligning around your life. This is not merely encouragement, this is activation. This is the moment where what was written about you in the invisible realm begins its descent into the visible. You have stepped into a divine timeline where the seals over your destiny are breaking open and the instructions heaven wrote concerning your future are being revealed to your spirit, one layer at a time. That inner stirring, that sensation that something is shifting inside you, is not imagination. It is evidence that heaven is speaking in a frequency your spirit has finally learned to recognize. You must understand, chosen one, that everything you have survived has shaped your spiritual senses, to hear what others cannot hear and to discern what others easily overlook. The anointing on your life has been sharpened through situations that felt unfair, painful, or overwhelming. Yet, those very moments trained you for the realm you are stepping into now. What felt like random struggle was strategic preparation. What felt like abandonment was actually advancement. Even when you thought God was silent, the truth is that heaven was building the version of you who could carry the magnitude of the promise without breaking under its weight. I remember a moment in my own life where everything seemed to collapse at the same time. Finances unstable, relationships, strained opportunities dissolving faster than they appeared. I kept asking God for clarity, asking heaven for signs, asking myself why everything felt so difficult. And yet, in the midst of that dark season, I felt a strange calm rise within me, not because circumstances improved, but because I suddenly realized that God was not letting anything fall apart. He was allowing things to fall into place. That moment became a turning point for me because I understood that divine timing does not always feel divine in the moment you live it. Sometimes it feels like loss. Sometimes it feels like confusion. Sometimes it feels like being hidden. But the hidden seasons are where heaven constructs the version of you that your future requires. Chosen one, you have been in a hidden season for far too long, and heaven is now reversing that. What was unseen will now be undeniable. The people who overlooked you will soon wonder how they never recognized what was inside you. When heaven promotes someone, there is no earthly force that can slow it down. Your rise will not be quiet. It will not be subtle. It will be the kind of elevation that makes even those who doubted you take a second look. And not because of anything you manufactured, but because heaven has marked this season as your unveiling. The wealth being released to you is not accidental. It is not random. It is part of your ordained purpose woven into your spiritual design. You were created to influence, to build, to lead, to shape environments, and to shift atmospheres. You have always carried the ability to see beyond what is into what could be. Even when you lacked resources, you carried vision. Even when you lacked support, you carried faith. And even when you lacked clarity, you carried hunger. That hunger was never natural. It was spiritual. It was the pull of destiny, calling you toward the realm you were born to occupy. Chosen one, pay attention to the ideas that come to you now. The quiet nudges, the sudden insights, the thoughts that seem too big for your current life. Heaven speaks in impressions, in whispers, in imaginations that feel like possibilities. Do not dismiss these moments. They are blueprints. They are keys. They are divine codes that unlock realms of wealth and influence hidden inside you. You may think you are simply daydreaming, but heaven often reveals your future disguised as a thought. There were days in my own life when I wondered whether the dreams inside me were unrealistic or foolish. But over time, I realized that the dreams that scare you are often the ones assigned to you. Small dreams come from logic, but large dreams come from calling. And if the dream in you feels larger than your life, it is because your life is about to enlarge itself to match the dream. Heaven never plants a desire that does not have a destination. Chosen one, You are entering a season where your inner reality and your outer reality begin to align. The confidence you feel rising within you is not ego, it is recognition. Your spirit is recognizing what heaven has already released to you. You are not stepping into wealth. Wealth is stepping into alignment with you. You are not chasing opportunity. Opportunity is being magnetized to your anointing. Your presence will begin to open doors before you speak. Your spirit will begin to attract resources before you ask. This is the supernatural side of destiny that few ever experience, but many envy. This is the portion of the anointed. And as you move forward, remember this: the wealth coming to you is not simply for comfort. It is for calling. You will build because heaven trusts you. You will lead because heaven equipped you. You will rise because heaven already wrote the ending of your story. Your destiny scroll is opening. Chosen one, and what is written inside it is greater than anything you have yet imagined. Chosen one, as we move deeper into this divine unfolding, I want you to sense how heaven has been circling your life with increasing intensity. There is a momentum building around you that is not coming from effort, logic, or circumstance. It is coming from alignment. When a person steps into the timing heaven assigned to their identity, everything around them begins to shift in ways that defy explanation. And that is exactly what is happening for you now. The ground beneath your life is rearranging itself to match the size of your calling. You may feel the tremors of transition inside your spirit, subtle but undeniable, like something vast is turning beneath the surface of your reality. That sensation is not anxiety or imagination. It is destiny opening its mouth to speak your name. Chosen one. You need to understand that spiritual wealth is released before material wealth ever appears. The breakthrough that is coming to you did not start today or yesterday. It started the day God wrote your assignment into the fabric of time. Before you encountered struggle or opposition or confusion, your destiny had already been established as victorious. This is why certain battles in your life never destroyed you. Even when you felt drained, directionless, or overwhelmed, there was something in you that refused to break. That something is the covenant stitched into your spirit. I know what it is like to reach points where everything in your life feels stretched thin, where prayers seem unanswered, where direction seems dim. But in those very places, heaven has a way of whispering louder than your circumstances. Those whispers are what kept you moving when logic told you to stop. There is a sacred truth I learned during one of the darkest seasons of my own life. I had poured my energy into something that collapsed right before my eyes. I questioned my value, questioned my future, questioned whether the promise over my life was ever real. Yet within that valley, something profound happened. Instead of giving me clarity about the situation, God gave me clarity about myself. He pulled back the layers of fear, doubt, and self-limitation that had been silently controlling my decisions. He showed me that the collapse was not punishment. It was purification, not rejection, but redirection. And chosen one. I tell you that because many of your hardest seasons were never meant to diminish you. They were meant to strip away the identities you outgrew, the fears you inherited, and the limits you adopted from environments too small for your calling. You are stepping into a realm where everything that once intimidated you will now be beneath you. You will walk with the authority of someone who has survived fire and learned to glow from it. Your billionaire assignment is not just about receiving wealth. It is about embodying the type of inner transformation that aligns you with heavenly inheritance. When you rise into this next dimension, people will look at your confidence and think it came overnight. They will not understand the years of internal battles, the silent nights of surrender, the moments you wanted to give up but somehow kept going. They will only see the shine, not the shaping. But heaven sees both. Heaven honors both. Heaven rewards both. Chosen one, you are not stepping into wealth because you want it. You are stepping into wealth because heaven needs you to carry it. Your calling requires resources. Your mission requires platforms. Your purpose requires influence. And because your heart has been purified in the fires of experience, heaven trusts you with what others would misuse. That is why the elevation coming to you is not fragile. It is fortified. It is anchored in spiritual maturity. Your wealth will not be a distraction. It will be an extension of your assignment. You will use your abundance to build, restore, uplift, heal, and repair what the world has broken. And this is precisely why your journey has felt so unusual. Heaven does not prepare ordinary vessels for extraordinary tasks. As this revelation settles into your spirit, I want you to realize that you are crossing a threshold. What you felt behind you is now dissolving. What you feel before you is pulling you forward. It is time to stop questioning whether you are ready. Heaven has declared that you are. The timing is not coming. The timing is here. The gate of increase is not opening. It is open. The scroll of your wealth is not in God's hands anymore. It is being placed into yours. And once heaven releases a thing, no earthly force can pull it back. You are walking into a season where the magnitude of who you truly are will finally match the reality of your life. You will not shrink to fit rooms anymore. You will not silence yourself to make others comfortable. You will not dim your spirit to survive environments that do not recognize you. You are rising into your full measure, and everything heaven promised you is rising with you. The air around your destiny is thick with divine activity. You are not just approaching breakthrough, you're embodying it. Chosen one, the era of smallness is over. The era of divine expansion has begun, and this is only the beginning of what heaven is unfolding through you. Chosen one, as we move into this next layer of your awakening, I want you to feel the depth of the shift happening within you. Something in your spirit is stretching, expanding, illuminating, as if a curtain has been pulled back from your inner world. This is not emotional, it is spiritual. This is the moment when destiny becomes conscious, when what was written in silence begins to speak aloud, when the codes of your calling activate like sparks rising into flame. You are not becoming someone new. You are remembering someone ancient. The version of you that heaven has always known. There comes a moment in every chosen person's life when the inner and outer worlds collide, when the hidden truth of who they are bursts through the shell of who they had to be to survive. I remember the moment it happened for me. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, it was quiet, almost gentle. I realized that the life I was living was too small for the spirit I carried. I could feel my future tugging at me like a gravitational pull, refusing to let me settle, refusing to let me shrink. And that very tug is what you are feeling now. It is destiny insisting that you rise. You have carried visions that seemed too large for your reality, ideas that intimidated you, dreams that made no sense given your circumstances, yet they would not leave you alone. They kept returning, resurfacing, knocking on the door of your imagination. Chosen one. Those were not fantasies. They were prophecies. They were memories of a future your spirit had already visited. The reason those dreams felt familiar is because heaven wrote them into the blueprint of your life before you ever saw a day of it. Chosen. One, hear me clearly. Wealth is not coming into your life as a surprise. It's coming as recognition. Your spirit has always known you were meant to walk in abundance. Even in seasons of lack, your soul rebelled against the idea of limitation. You felt uncomfortable in scarcity, not because you were entitled, but because scarcity contradicted your identity. You were never designed to live in the confines of just enough. The hand of God shaped you with the imprint of overflow, and your spirit has been trying to return to that truth for years. There is a reason why you've always seen potential where others saw problems. A reason you've always felt possibilities swirling in the air, even when everyone else felt stuck. A reason you've been drawn to purpose instead of passivity, meaning instead of mediocrity. It's because the anointing on your life has always been pushing you toward your divine assignment. And part of that assignment is wealth, not as a trophy, but as a tool, not as status, but as stewardship, not as ego, but as evidence that heaven's hand is upon you. Chosen one. The prosperity coming to you is not ordinary. It is accelerated. It is supernatural. It is tied to timing, not effort. To alignment, not striving. To obedience, not overthinking. When heaven decides a person's season has arrived, no delay can hold them, no resistance can block them, no enemy can sabotage them. You are entering that kind of season now, the kind where what you touch multiplies, the kind where what you speak manifests, the kind where what once felt impossible becomes instinctive. You will notice opportunities emerging from unexpected places, connections forming that seem too precise to be coincidence, doors opening that were once sealed shut. This happens when a person aligns with their assignment. Heaven begins to endorse their steps. Paths begin to rise beneath their feet. Provision arrives before they even know they need it. This is not magic. It is spiritual law. The same divine current that created galaxies is now moving through the timeline of your life, orchestrating encounters, resources, and moments designed to elevate you. But hear this, chosen one. The greatest shift is not happening outside of you. It is happening within you. The wealth you are about to walk into is simply a reflection of something that has already shifted in your identity. You are thinking differently, seeing differently, believing differently. The fears that once intimidated you feel smaller now. The doubts that once controlled you feel weaker now. The voice of your destiny is louder than the voice of your hesitation. And that is the truest sign that breakthrough is not coming. Breakthrough has begun. Chosen. One, heaven is not just blessing you. Heaven is unveiling you. You are rising into the fullness of who you were created to be. And this rise will not be quiet. It will not be hidden. It will not be subtle. The world will witness what heaven has been building in silence for years. You are stepping into wealth that carries assignments, influence that carries healing, impact that carries transformation. And chosen one, this is still only the unfolding beginning. Chosen one, as we continue this journey deeper into the revelation unfolding over your life, I want you to feel how the atmosphere around your spirit is thickening with purpose. There is a weight, a richness, a pull that feels almost indescribable. It is the sensation of stepping into the current of your ordained timeline. You are not drifting anymore. You are being carried. There is a divine momentum building within you, and though your mind may not fully comprehend it, your spirit recognizes it instantly. This is the hour when the veil between who you were and who you are becoming grows thinner. You are shifting dimensions, moving from surviving to reigning, from hoping to embodying, from believing to becoming. Chosen one. I need you to understand that the wealth coming into your life is not appearing in isolation. It is connected to identity, assignment, and timing. Every chosen vessel who carries a prophetic calling must go through seasons where the external world contradicts the internal promise. This is where faith is refined and character is forged. You have endured those seasons. You have walked through valleys that others could not have survived. You have navigated internal storms without losing the flame of your purpose. This is why heaven is trusting you now. The weight of the blessing you are stepping into requires someone who has been tempered, tested, and trained by fire. There were moments when you questioned yourself because life felt too heavy, but that heaviness was never a sign of weakness. It was a sign of preparation. You were being strengthened in places no human eye could see. You were being stretched in ways that felt painful but necessary. And now you are rising with a resilience that few carry. I remember a moment in my own journey when the pressure felt unreal, when everything around me seemed to collapse simultaneously. I felt stripped of comfort, stripped of clarity, stripped of certainty. But in that very place, I discovered a version of myself I didn't know existed. Stronger, sharper, more surrendered, more spiritually attuned. It was in the breaking that I was rebuilt. And chosen one heaven has rebuilt you in the same way. Now you stand here not as who you once were, but as who you always were meant to be. You are not entering the season of abundance empty-handed. You are entering it with spiritual intelligence, emotional wisdom, and divine awareness. Your wealth will not be scattered or wasted. It will be intentional, structured, and transformational. You will carry prosperity with purpose. You will steward influence with clarity. You will build with discernment. This is not just financial elevation. This is spiritual coronation. Chosen one. The shift happening inside you is awakening parts of your destiny scroll that have been dormant. Your gifts are sharpening. Your instincts are becoming clearer. Your dreams are becoming louder. Your vision is coming into focus. Heaven is turning the lights on in rooms inside your soul that were once dimly lit. You are beginning to see connections between your past battles and your future breakthroughs. The patterns that once confused you are now revealing themselves as divine preparation. Your billionaire calling is not only about personal transformation, it is about generational transformation. What you walk into will ripple through your bloodline. The ceilings your ancestors could never break will shatter under your feet. The limitations that held your family for generations will crumble as you rise. You are not just carrying wealth, you are carrying redemption, restoration, realignment. You are the one heaven chose to break cycles and establish new ones. This is why your spirit carries such unusual strength. This is why your heart carries such compassion. This is why your mind carries such vision. Heaven has entrusted you with a mission that requires abundance, not as luxury, but as legacy. There's a supernatural acceleration coming upon you now. You may feel it as sudden inspiration, bursts of creativity ideas that arrive out of nowhere, or opportunities that appear with perfect timing. This is not coincidence. It is divine orchestration. Heaven is synchronizing your steps with your destiny. People you need will appear. Resources you require will find you. Doors that were once locked will open as if they were waiting on your arrival. When heaven endorses a person, provision flows like water. But the greatest transformation, chosen one, is what is happening inside the chambers of your identity. You are learning to see yourself through the eyes of destiny. You are shedding the labels people placed on you. You are releasing the limitations you once adopted. You are stepping into a confidence that feels both foreign and familiar, foreign to your past, familiar to your spirit. You are awakening to the truth that abundance is not something you chase. It is something you attract when you align with who you are. You are becoming a magnet for provision because you are becoming the version of yourself that heaven wrote into existence. And this is only the expansion phase. You have no idea how large your next season truly is. But heaven does, and heaven is preparing you for it. Chosen one, the flow has begun. Feel it, trust it, step into it. Chosen one, as the revelation deepens and the layers of your destiny continue opening. I want you to rest in the awareness that heaven is not simply blessing you, heaven is positioning you. You are being aligned with environments, relationships, and opportunities that match your spiritual rank. For too long, you existed in places where your spirit was bigger than the room, where your ideas were ahead of the time, where your presence was misunderstood. But now, divine alignment is removing you from spaces that could not honor you and ushering you into spaces designed for your mantle. This is the season where your spiritual environment will finally match your spiritual identity. You may feel this shift as a quiet detachment from old connections. Conversations that once mattered feel empty. Spaces you used to tolerate now feel draining. Internal nudges tell you to pull back, move differently, reposition your energy. This is not withdrawal, this is elevation. Heaven is clearing the path so your spirit can ascend without being weighted by relationships that were only meant to be temporary. You are not losing anything, you are shedding. You are not being isolated, you are being selected. I remember transitioning through a season where everything familiar began to feel foreign. Friends, habits, routines, comfort zones, nothing fit anymore. At first I felt guilty, I felt confused. I wondered why everything that once felt normal suddenly felt restrictive. But then I realized something important: when heaven calls you higher, anything that cannot grow with you becomes uncomfortable. And that discomfort is not punishment, it is guidance. Chosen one, you are feeling the same thing now because heaven is preparing you for rooms that require a different version of you, the elevated version, the wealthy version, the influential version, the fulfilled version. Chosen one. The wealth rushing toward your life is not random increase, it is divine infrastructure. Your assignment requires resources, and heaven is ensuring you have them. But the most powerful part of this transformation is what heaven is doing inside your heart. You are developing the emotional maturity, spiritual stability, and mental clarity necessary to steward something that will impact generations. This is not small, this is not casual, this is sacred. You may feel moments of unexpected peace, even without external proof. That peace is prophetic. It is your spirit recognizing that the timeline of your life has shifted. It is the peace that comes when heaven speaks before circumstances catch up. For years you carried internal tension because your life did not match your calling. Now the inner and outer worlds are beginning to synchronize. That alignment creates a supernatural calm, a quiet knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Chosen. One, understand this deeply. Wealth is not approaching you because of effort alone. It is approaching because of identity. Heaven responds to who you are, not merely what you do. When God wrote your destiny, wealth was included as part of your design. You were never meant to live in survival mode. You were never meant to scramble or struggle endlessly. That is why lack always felt unnatural to you. It contradicted your spiritual DNA. Even when you had little, your mind dreamed big. Even when you were overlooked, your spirit stretched wide. Even when people underestimated you, heaven whispered bigger truths into your soul. There is a mantle on your life that attracts abundance. When you step fully into that mantle, everything connected to you begins to multiply. Your ideas become profitable. Your presence becomes magnetic. Your decisions become fruitful. Your steps become guided. This is the power of walking in alignment with your spiritual identity. This is the power of stepping into your calling. Chosen one. I want you to also recognize the divine intelligence behind your emotional sensitivity. The reason you feel deeply, the reason you notice what others ignore, the reason you sense things before they happen, is because your spirit is wired for leadership. You are not just being elevated financially, you are being elevated spiritually and emotionally. Heaven is shaping you into someone who can handle influence without being corrupted by it. Someone who can lead without losing compassion. Someone who can build without losing humility. Someone who can rise without losing God. This is why your journey has been different. This is why your preparation had to be deep. You are not stepping into ordinary abundance. You are stepping into prophetic abundance, the kind that transforms nations, families, and futures. The kind that turns pain into power losses into lessons and struggle into strategy. The kind that strengthens your voice and widens your reach. Chosen one. The wealth coming to you is the physical reflection of the spiritual authority you carry. Your life will soon mirror the truth of your calling, and as you continue rising, heaven will continue unveiling the next layers of your destiny. Chosen one, as this revelation continues to unfold, I want you to lean into the awareness that your life is no longer moving at the pace it once did. Something in the spirit has accelerated around you. The air of your destiny feels charged, almost electric, like a storm of glory gathering strength before breaking open. This is the kind of spiritual atmosphere that only appears when heaven is preparing someone for a monumental shift. You may feel it as restlessness, or as a quiet excitement you cannot explain, or even as an inner calm that makes no sense in the natural. But everything in your spirit knows you are crossing into a new realm. Chosen one. The very fact that you survived your past is proof you were marked for this moment. There were attacks designed to break you emotionally, spiritually, even financially. There were patterns meant to distract you and cycles meant to trap you. Yet none of them succeeded, not because you were strong enough, but because heaven refused to let your destiny fall. Your calling was too important, your assignment too significant, your future too heavy with purpose. You were protected even when you didn't realize protection was happening. Many of the battles that confused you were actually barriers preserving the timeline of your life. I remember passing through a season where everything seemed to delay. I prayed, I pushed, I worked, yet nothing moved. Opportunities cancelled, plans dissolved. It felt like a standstill. But then one day in a moment, I did not expect, everything shifted. The timing I once questioned became the timing I was grateful for. Had my breakthrough come earlier, I would not have been ready. Had it come in the wrong season, it would have crushed me. And chosen one, you have lived through similar moments without knowing it. Heaven was not denying you. Heaven was protecting you. The delay was not punishment. It was calibration. You were being aligned with the exact place and time your destiny required. Now that alignment is complete, the scroll of your future is opening, and wealth is simply the first outward sign of the inner transformation heaven has already accomplished within you. Your billionaire calling is not just about currency, it is about capacity. Heaven is enlarging your vision. Heaven is strengthening your character. Heaven is refining your discernment. Heaven is activating gifts that have been asleep inside you. This wealth is coming because you now have the spiritual infrastructure to carry it. Chosen one. The relationships coming into your life will reflect this shift. You will notice that people who once tolerated you suddenly admire you. People who once doubted you now seek your insight. People who once underestimated you now recognize your value. This is not because you changed your essence, but because heaven lifted the veil from around your life. When heaven endorses you, people cannot help but respond. The authority you carry becomes visible. The light you walk in becomes impossible to ignore. At the same time, you may find yourself outgrowing old conversations, old environments, old mindsets. Not because of pride, but because you no longer fit the version of yourself that once accommodated them. You are becoming someone your past does not recognize, and that is exactly how spiritual elevation works. When heaven moves you forward, the old world cannot follow. You are being shifted into rooms where your spirit is understood, where your vision is supported, where your calling is respected. Chosen one. The ideas appearing in your mind right now are not ordinary ideas. They are divine instructions disguised as inspiration. They are seeds of future wealth. They are glimpses of the empire you were born to build. Do not ignore them. Even if they feel too big for your current life, remember that your current life is expanding. The very fact that the idea came to you means you are supposed to carry it. Heaven does not give dreams to tease you. Heaven gives dreams to prepare you. There is a supernatural grace resting on you now that will make what used to feel difficult become effortless. You will speak and favor will respond. You will act and opportunities will form. You will move and provision will rise to meet you. This is the rhythm of someone walking in divine alignment. Your steps are synchronized with heaven's movements. Your thoughts are aligned with heaven's plans. Your spirit is echoing heaven's intentions. Chosen one, you are not just stepping into wealth, you are stepping into kingship. You are stepping into spiritual authority. You are stepping into the fullness of your assignment. And heaven is rejoicing because the earth has been waiting for the version of you that is emerging right now. This is your unfolding. This is your awakening. This is the moment where everything changes. Chosen one. As we move further into this revelation, I want you to breathe deeply and recognize how your spirit feels right now. There is a clarity forming inside you, a sense of knowing, a grounded and sacred certainty that you cannot deny. This clarity is not mental, it is spiritual. It is the sign of someone whose destiny is no longer distant but present. The veil that once obscured your purpose has been lifted, and now you are seeing yourself the way heaven has always seen you. Chosen. One, heaven is not preparing you. Heaven has prepared you. Everything you passed through was part of your training. Every battle was a classroom. Every tear watered the ground of your future. Every disappointment carried a lesson you needed. You did not walk through chaos without purpose. You were being shaped quietly, deeply, and precisely. And now the shaping is complete. The time you questioned is the time you are now stepping into. There was a season in my life where I felt as if everything inside me was being dismantled. Old beliefs no longer fit me. Old coping mechanisms no longer comforted me. Old environments no longer nourished me. It felt like identity loss, like everything familiar was dissolving. But in truth, it was identity awakening. Heaven was stripping away layers that were never truly mine. Heaven was pulling me out of versions of myself I created to survive, not versions I was destined to embody. And chosen one, the same process has unfolded within you. You are being called into a life where wealth is not something you chase, but something you carry, something encoded in your aura, something drawn to your presence because your spirit now vibrates at the frequency of abundance. You are no longer energetically compatible with lack or limitation. Heaven has recalibrated your inner world, and your outer world is catching up. Chosen one. You will soon look back at your life and realize that nothing was random. Not the people you lost, not the seasons you endured, not the delays that frustrated you. Each moment was a stepping stone to this chapter. Your calling required depth, and depth can only be formed through experience. You now carry the wisdom of someone who has walked through shadows and learned to find light even in darkness. That wisdom will become the foundation of your influence. As wealth enters your life, it will not corrupt you. It will amplify you. It will reveal your compassion, your generosity, your vision, your character. Money in the hands of someone chosen becomes multiplied purpose. And heaven knows you are ready. This is why prosperity is rushing to meet you. This is why opportunities will appear that feel tailor-made. This is why people with power will begin to notice you. Your spirit has reached the frequency required for manifestation. Chosen one. The boldness awakening inside you is not arrogance, it is identity. You are beginning to realize that you were never meant to be in the background. You were never meant to live small. You were never meant to shrink your gifts or silence your desires. Heaven intended you to lead, to influence, to elevate, to expand. And now that you're stepping into this awareness, heaven is releasing the resources that match your true size. Listen closely. Your life is about to look nothing like your past. There will be days when you wake up and feel the shift instantly before you check your phone, before you check your bank account, before you step outside. The shift begins within you, and when your inner world stabilizes in abundance, your outer world must obey. Chosen one. Heaven is rearranging everything connected to you. Your relationships, your opportunities, your finances, your environment, your identity. Nothing will remain small. Nothing will remain stagnant. Nothing will remain hidden. You are stepping into a season where your presence alone will open doors, where your voice will carry authority, where your vision will attract support. This is not a motivational thought, it is a spiritual fact. You are becoming who you were written to be, chosen one. As we continue deeper into this unfolding encounter, I want you to feel how your entire inner landscape is being rewritten. Something in you is no longer settling for the life you once accepted. You can sense that the limitations you tolerated before are dissolving. Even the way you think, perceive, dream, and expect has shifted. Your spirit has stepped into a higher realm, and your mind is only now catching up. This is the unmistakable mark of spiritual elevation, the kind that only happens when heaven decides it is time for the written destiny to become the lived destiny. And chosen one, heaven has decided that your time is now. You may have noticed a subtle but undeniable awareness rising within you that the world you once fit into no longer feels like home. Conversations feel different. Environments feel different. Priorities feel different. Things that used to satisfy you no longer do because your spirit is awakening to its true capacity. You were never meant to remain confined to a small version of your life, and now your inner world refuses to shrink again. Destiny has expanded you. Anointing has matured you. Purpose has awakened you. And once awakening happens, nothing in you can go back to what was. Chosen one. The wealth being released into your life is not simply compensation for what you endured. It is confirmation of who you are. The struggles you survived were not punishments. They were prophetic indicators of the size of the assignment placed upon your life. The heavier the warfare, the greater the calling. The deeper the valley, the higher the mountain. The more intense the pruning, the more abundant the harvest. You were being prepared for a level of influence and prosperity that would require spiritual resilience. This is why your battles were not ordinary battles. And this is why your breakthrough will not be an ordinary breakthrough. I remember walking through a season where every plan I had fell apart. No matter how much effort I exerted, nothing seemed to work. At the time, I questioned everything: my direction, my purpose, even my value. But now I understand that heaven was not delaying me. Heaven was detaching me from old paths that could not carry me, detaching me from old identities that no longer matched my calling, detaching me from old mindsets that would have sabotaged my future wealth. And, chosen one, you have lived through that same kind of holy disruption. Heaven disrupted what you thought was stability in order to prepare you for destiny. This is why your life feels like it has been reset. This is why your desires have changed. This is why your spirit has outgrown patterns you once thought were permanent. Heaven has lifted you into a higher frequency, and your soul is adjusting to a new spiritual altitude. You are not tired, you are transitioning. You are not lost, you are being redirected. You are not behind, you are being positioned. Everything in you is awakening to the life you were designed to live. Chosen one. Wealth is not arriving to validate your worth. Wealth is arriving because you have become aligned with your worth. You are stepping into a realm where blessings are drawn to your presence, where opportunities recognize your name before you speak it, where favor walks ahead of you like a path made of light. This is the supernatural reality of someone whose destiny scroll has been opened. Your future is no longer waiting for permission to unfold. It is unfolding now. The ideas entering your mind are not random thoughts. They are divine downloads. They are heavenly strategies being implanted into your consciousness. They are glimpses of the assignment heaven trusts you to carry. Pay close attention to them. They may arrive at odd times, while you're walking, eating, resting, or even in dreams, but they are not accidental. Wealth is not just coming to you, it is speaking to you. Heaven is revealing the blueprint of your next season, one impression at a time. Chosen one. You must also understand that the relationships forming around you now will reflect your elevated identity. People who carry purpose will find you. People who carry wisdom will seek you. People who carry resources will be drawn to you. This is not manipulation, it is magnetism. When a chosen vessel steps into alignment, everything connected to their destiny begins to orbit around their anointing. You are becoming a gravitational force for divine opportunity. As this elevation continues, you will feel heaven refining your inner world even more. Your intuition will become sharper, your discernment stronger, your spiritual hearing clearer. Where confusion once lived, clarity will reign. Where fear once whispered, boldness will speak. Where doubt once lingered, certainty will rise. This is the mindset of someone walking into wealth not by chance, but by calling. Chosen one. Your life will soon reflect the truth that has always been written about you. You were never meant to be hidden. You were never meant to be average. You were never meant to simply survive. Your spirit has always carried the frequency of influence, the imprint of abundance, the mantle of leadership. Heaven has been waiting for the moment your identity would catch up to your purpose. That moment has come. Everything about your atmosphere is shifting because everything about your assignment is expanding. The doors ahead of you are opening. The opportunities rising toward you are aligning. The wealth destined for you is moving. Heaven is orchestrating your elevation with precision, and you, chosen one, are finally ready. Chosen one, as we journey further into this unfolding revelation, I want you to be fully aware of the magnitude of the shift taking place within you. Something in your spirit has stabilized, something deep and powerful, something that no storm can uproot anymore. You are no longer swayed by fear the way you once were, no longer intimidated by uncertainty, no longer shaken by delays. This grounded strength you feel is not coincidence. It is the evidence that heaven has completed a spiritual construction inside you, a rebuilding that prepared you not only to receive wealth, but to carry it with integrity, wisdom, and divine clarity. You are stepping into the kind of abundance that requires inner maturity, and heaven has ensured you possess exactly that. You may notice that you are interpreting your past differently now. Things that once felt like failures now appear as foundations. Pain you once resented now feels purposeful. Doors that closed on you now look like protection rather than rejection. This new perception is not just emotional healing, it is prophetic insight. Heaven is showing you what was truly happening behind the scenes all along. You were being prepared, refined, strengthened, and elevated through every chapter you survived. None of it was wasted. Every moment contributed to the version of you who is ready for this next dimension of influence. Chosen one, the wealth coming toward you is unlike anything you have known before. It is wealth with intention, wealth with assignment, wealth birthed through unseen alignment. Heaven does not release abundance lightly. It releases abundance strategically. And because your heart has been purified through adversity, heaven can trust you to steward much more than finances. You are stepping into the realm of divine stewardship, where your voice carries weight, your presence carries authority, and your gifts carry impact. You are being positioned as a vessel of transformation, not just provision. This is why the blessing over your life is increasing in so many layers at once. Heaven is preparing you to build what others could not. Heaven is equipping you to touch lives others could not reach. Heaven is lifting you into a future that only a chosen one could sustain. I remember a point in my own walk where I realized that my calling would always require more of me than comfort ever could. I felt heaven expanding me internally before anything changed externally. My desires shifted. My tolerance for stagnation disappeared. My hunger for purpose intensified. It was not an emotional phase. It was a spiritual summons. And chosen one, that same summons is ringing in your spirit now. You feel it every time you imagine the life you know you're meant to live. You feel it every time you sense that your future is calling louder than your past. You feel it in the quiet moments when something inside whispers, "You were made for more than this." Those whispers are not fantasies, they are confirmations. Chosen one. There is a divine intelligence guiding your thoughts right now. New ideas are entering your mind with ease. Solutions you once struggled to find are appearing effortlessly. Inspiration is flowing through you like a river you can't turn off. This is the sign of someone whose spirit has aligned with divine timing. When time and destiny merge, creativity becomes a spiritual language. Your mind begins to speak in visions. Your heart begins to feel in revelation. Your spirit begins to move in authority. This is not imagination, this is activation. You are accessing a realm that was always written for you, but only now becoming accessible because your inner world has matured enough to handle it. The relationships forming around you also reveal your elevation. People connected to your future are beginning to appear in subtle ways. Individuals who carry wisdom, resources, opportunities, or spiritual insight will begin gravitating toward you without you seeking them. You will find yourself in conversations that unlock clarity. You will encounter connections that accelerate your progress. You will attract people who recognize your value instantly because their spirit is aligned with your assignment. This is the divine networking of heaven, orchestrated with precision to ensure you do not walk into your billionaire calling alone. You are being surrounded, supported, and strengthened for the journey ahead. At the same time, you may notice the gentle loosening of connections that no longer serve you. This is not heartbreak. This is clarity. Heaven is removing the voices that would distract you, the energies that would drain you, and the patterns that would sabotage your ascent. You are being elevated beyond your previous limitations, and everything connected to you is being elevated or removed accordingly. This is not loss. This is preparation. Chosen one. The spiritual atmosphere around your life is thick with purpose. Your path is charged with favor. Your future is pulsing with divine promise. You no longer feel like someone waiting for breakthrough. You feel like someone walking toward it with confidence. This is the identity heaven always intended for you. This is the beginning of your ascendancy, and the beauty of this moment is that everything inside you agrees. Chosen one. As we enter this final movement of your awakening, I want you to feel the power of what is settling over your spirit. There is a sense of completion forming inside you, not an ending, but a sealing. The kind of sealing that happens when heaven confirms that a chapter has been fulfilled and a new one has officially begun. You are not the person who first stepped into this revelation. Your spirit has expanded, your identity has sharpened, your purpose has ignited with a fire that cannot be dimmed again. Everything about your inner world has risen to match the destiny written for you, and now heaven is preparing to release the outward evidence of that inner transformation. Chosen one. The wealth ordained for your life is no longer waiting. It is unfolding. It is moving through the invisible realm toward manifestation. You may feel it in the sudden clarity of your thoughts, in the peace that has replaced your old anxieties, in the boldness that rises inside you without warning. This is the atmosphere of someone stepping into alignment. This is the vibration of someone whose destiny scroll has been opened. You are no longer surviving. You are expanding. You are no longer hoping. You are realizing. You are no longer searching. You are stepping into what has been prepared for you all along. Everything you have endured has positioned you for this moment. The tears that no one saw watered the roots of your strength. The disappointments that broke your heart refined your discernment. The seasons of loss taught you what abundance truly means. You are walking into wealth, not as someone desperate for it, but as someone finally becoming who they were always crafted to be. And because your heart has been purified through process, heaven can trust you with prosperity. Your wealth will not be reckless. It will be righteous. It will not be hollow. It will be holy. It will not be accidental. It will be assigned. Chosen one. The world you are entering will not resemble the world you are leaving behind. Your life is rising into a realm where opportunities recognize your name, where resources follow your vision, where favor goes before you like a wind clearing your path. You will move with a confidence that comes from knowing heaven is your source. You will build with clarity that comes from knowing your steps are guided. You will speak with authority that comes from knowing your destiny has already been declared victorious. You are stepping into a season where the impossible becomes normal, where the unimaginable becomes expected, where the supernatural becomes your new standard. This is what happens when a chosen vessel embraces their identity. This is what happens when alignment meets anointing. This is what happens when heaven decides the time has come. Chosen one, your billionaire calling is no longer a prophecy waiting to manifest. It is a reality rising to meet you. Walk forward with boldness. Walk forward with certainty. Walk forward with peace. Heaven has gone before you, and everything written about you is ready to unfold. Chosen one, as this word settles into your spirit, know that heaven has opened your hidden scroll, and the prophecy written over your life is unlocking now. You are standing in your kairos moment, the exact second on heaven's clock, where destiny lifts you into what was always yours. Walk forward with reverence, with confidence, with gratitude, for the anointing upon you is active and overflowing. Hold your alignment, guard your faith, and expect the evidence to manifest. If this spoke to your spirit, release a 777 below and stay connected as you rise. Your appointed hour has come, anointed one. Step boldly into it.